CM Punk. This is a fairly short answer he gave to whoever it was. Rosenberg or something like that? I can't remember. I didn't write it down. Anyway, on how CM Punk feels like he wasted some of the select matches he had left on people in AEW who didn't deserve it. This is a quote. I feel like I wasted some matches on some people for sure. That is what it is. Some people understand the business and some people don't. I think everybody here, WWE, understands the business. So I'm going to give you a list of some of the people that CM Punk wrestled in AEW when he was there for that couple of years. Darby Allin, Daniel Garcia, Powerhouse Hobbs, Matt Sydal, Bobby Fish, Eddie Kingston, QT Marshall, Lee Moriarty, MJF, Wardlow, Sean Spears, FTR, Max Caster, Pender, Oscura, Dustin Rhodes, John Silver. Who the hell's John Silver?
He's somebody.
Okay, right. Some names that you'll know, and then there's Kojima, Ricky Starks, who's a big fan of. I'll come back to him in a minute. But I was thinking, he did have a lot of singles matches at the time with people and putting a lot of time with them. You know, like 8 minutes or 12 minutes or 14 minutes, which is sort of the AEW mantra of it doesn't matter where someone else is on the card, have as long a match as possible with them.
Well, he said he wasted matches, and I'm going to agree with him. Now, if they'd have picked a guy, pick anybody of that list, if he'd have told a story with them, then he wouldn't be wasting a match. But just to have a match for the sake of putting them in the ring with him, he didn't really bring them up that much. He didn't bring them down, certainly, but he didn't raise them to the level of being able to sell a ticket or sell a pay-per-view. He didn't tell the story. Tell a story with these guys, and that's a lot of guys to just wrestle and I guess lose to. I mean, to win, even to beat them. That doesn't do CM Punk any good, and it doesn't do the guy that he beat. Doesn't do him any good either. So I think they were just trying to change the opponent every week or so it didn't look repetitious. But I don't think they know how to really tell a story in AEW, because sometimes you'll see a guy in AEW, and I appreciate the fact that Tony Khan started a company and he gives the wrestlers an alternative place to work. I like that. But you can't put a guy on TV, and here he is. He just got into the company, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3. And he loses his first match. And then you don't see the guy for the next 2 months. You can't get anybody over like that. And I never understood that philosophy. I never understood that philosophy of booking. And are you going to talk about John Moxley in a minute?
Oh yeah, in a short while.
Okay.
In a short while,
Okay.
I will as well. Let me ask you this then. So, one, do you believe that every wrestler has a bump card? As in, every wrestler's got a certain amount of bumps they can take, and then after so long, you just can't take anymore safely.
I don't think when you're young you have well, it's according to what kind of bumps you're going to take. If you're falling off a ladder to a concrete floor, you may not have but one of those. You could break your leg, you could break your neck. It's according to the difficulty of the bump. But the regular bumps, the slams and the arm drags and the clotheslines, and I mean, you can take those up to your 40, and you're only telling it is after the match, is when you cool off and you tighten up. But nobody needs to tell a wrestler, hey, calm down. I mean, if I'm sitting there and I took a bump I shouldn't have taken, well, my body tells me. And you couldn't give me enough money now to get me to take a bump. Maybe shoot me, I could fall over. But, some of those bumps were, and I see guys take these bumps, and it's ungodly to watch, and they hop right up. I mean, they hop right up without selling anything. Like, hey, that's normal. I can do this. But it looked awful. It looked terrible. And yes, I think they do have a set bump card that they can take without without problems, but it's up into the thousands anyway.
With that being said, CM Punk was in his 40s when he was in AEW, and he's still in his 40s now, of course. But what I'm reading from that is that he wasted bumps off his bump card for people who he shouldn't have done. And
I'm agreeing with him.
is
But
that right?
yeah, you're right. But what I'm saying is he was working for the company and he was trying to get these guys over. You know, you can have a match and get yourself over and the other guy too. CM Punk, he could do that. But and he probably took a lot of unnecessary bumps because he was trying to do that. But see, he doesn't get any of the praise for being a company guy. A lot of people want to say they want to knock him. And I will say one thing for CM Punk: when you knock him, he'll come back at you too. Because I don't know how he got to AEW. If he knew Tony Khan before he started the company, but I think he made a good deal for himself. And when he got there and he saw the money, that's some things that were going to happen, he tried to get within the company's framework, within its operating circle. And he got in there, and then all of a sudden, the deal with that, what's his name, about the glass and all this.
The Glass? Oh, Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Yeah, and he got into it with him, and then Tony got hot and suspended Jungle Boy, and he got all teed off about it. And it was on. It wasn't on pay-per-view, but the camera in the dressing room got it. So I'm not going to put any of that blame on CM Punk. He was busting his ass trying to get AEW to actually work. And I've said this before, and I don't want to lay on AEW any more than necessary, because I actually like Tony Khan. I hope he's a friend of mine. I talked to him before, and he was very friendly. But he doesn't really know how to run a wrestling company correctly, because he doesn't want to be the bad guy. I mean, if somebody said, I don't want to do this, well, he may even change it or have an agent change it because he didn't want anybody to get mad at him. You can't run a business like that. If I want you to work from 3 to 11 and you come and said, well, can I come in 6 to 11? I said, did I say 6 to 11? I said 3 to 11. That's when I need you to work. If you can't work, I'll get somebody else to do it. And you do that enough times, and then finally, I'm gonna write you off the list. You won't be employed there long. But I do that in the kindest way possible. Yeah.
There's been a conspiracy theory that's risen recently after CM Punk left. Certain people, certain wrestlers on the AEW roster were supportive of him beforehand and after. Photos of him and stuff like that. Ricky Starks, Jamie Hayter, and Danhausen. Jamie Hayter's come back, but she's nowhere near as hot as she was before she left. She had an injury, and then it took her 15 months to come back. But Ricky Starks has been taken off television. Danhausen hasn't been seen on AEW TV in nearly a year, even though he's not injured or anything. He's just waiting for the call, I guess. And then there are other people like FTR and House of Black that ever since CM Punk left, and they're all boosters of CM Punk. They've just been nowhere, comparatively speaking, than when he was in the company. That being said, do you think Tony Khan is punishing CM Punk supporters within the company?
I'm speaking right now to Tony Khan. That CM Punk's a no good bastard, and he shouldn't have treated you that way, Tony. And listen, that's what I want you to do. Give me a job, Tony, and I'll sign it on like January the 1st and let it run for 3 years. And out of those 3 years, book me like 2 or 3 times and keep my checks coming. And hey, we'd have a good relationship. So that's what I'd do. So even if the guys, is this true? Even if the guys work or not, they still get their yearly check or their weekly check?
Yeah, they're all guaranteed, yeah.
Really? Every one of them?
Yeah, Danhausen as well has said that the only times he's been in touch with AEW is to confirm indie bookings of his, because since he's under contract with AEW, they can veto bookings of yours. And That's all there's been. It's just he calls them and says, I've got this indie booking on this date. Is that cool? And they go, yep. And then that's it. So he's getting paid and then doing indie shots, and that's
what a great deal. These AEW guys got a deal other guys, the older guys, would love to have. Because you're going to pay me to sit at home with my foot up on the table and watch college game day and those college football games all day Saturday and pro football on Sunday, and don't even worry about going to the airport and making but they have to show up at the towns, right?
No.
No?
No. Danhausen hasn't showed up to a town since probably January or February or whatever it is.
Well,
there are certain people who will have to show up, and there are certain people who just won't even be sent tickets and just stay home for months on end.
Okay, Bryan Danielson is retired, correct?
Yes. Well, from full-time wrestling, yes. And then he's going to get neck surgery, and he'll probably be back in a year for a few matches here and there.
But he still goes to some of the shows, right? Does he help out in the back? Is he an agent?
No, I don't think so. I've got because he wants to spend more time at home, so I doubt he would have. I mean, if he's going to be there, he might as well wrestle. At that point. But no, I think he's staying at home more. But I think he's got I figure he's got some sort of office job, other than the AEW disciplinary committee.
Being an agent sounds like a cushy job till you talk to some of these guys. Oh my God. It gets almost impossible to talk to them. So I want you to do this. Well, wait a minute. Why would I do that? And you say, I don't know. Why wouldn't you do that? Well, because I'm this and I'm this and I'm this. So most of the time they end up doing their own stuff without the agents really, signing off on it. And finally, when they get it together, they give it to him and say, do it. I'm tired of messing with it. You only got 6 minutes away, go do it. So, but anyway, being an agent sounds good because you don't got to take bumps, but you got to talk to the wrestlers.